Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off the water supply underneath the sink. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Frigidaire Refrigerator Drain Tube. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new drain tube. The drain tube drains the water from the defrost tray down to the evaporator tray. The main should be changing it out if it's damaged and you're getting water leaking on the floor. In order to change the drain hose, we have to drop the drain pan. So we're going to tilt the fridge back. You want to take anything out of the fridge and the freezer that might tilt and put a towel against the back corner so you don't damage the wall or the fridge. And then we're going to tilt the refrigerator back so we can get underneath. You only want to tilt it back far enough so you can get underneath. You don't want to lay it down or tilt it too far. Now that we have the fridge tilted back, we can take out the drain pan. It's located on the right hand side underneath the refrigerator door. Just gonna reach under there with a corner nut driver and take out the screws. Once you have the screws out, we can carefully pull the drain pan down and unhook the wiring harness from it. And then we're going to pull it over to the freezer side so it comes out from underneath the frame right here. Once you have it free, you can set it aside. Once you have the drain pan out of the way, we're just going to take this tape off so we can remove the drain hose. We're going to carefully set the fridge back on its feet. Once you have it on its feet, we can go around back. Now that we're around back, we can see the access panel. It's located down at the bottom of the machine. We're going to use a 1/2-inch wrench to take off the water line. First, we're going to put a towel down to catch any water that may come out. We can grab the wrench and loosen it up. Once you have it loose, you can just unscrew it by hand. And then we're going to use the 1/4-inch nut driver to take out the screw that holds the clamp on. Then we can pull the water line off and get it out of the way. Once you have the water line out of the way, we can use the 1/4-inch nut driver to take out the rest of the screws to hold the access panel on. Once you have all the screws out, we're just going to make sure the panel comes out from around the water valve. We can lift it out and pull it off the refrigerator. Now that we have the panel off, we have access to the drain hose. It comes from the bottom of the fridge and goes over to the drain pan. We're going to have to get this water inlet valve out of the way. So we're going to use the 1/4-inch nut driver to take out the screws that hold it on. Once you have the screws out, we're going to pull the valve out a little bit so we can disconnect this yellow line right here so we can swing it out of the way. There's a little locking collar that holds this tab in place, so we're going to have to remove this cover right here. It's held in by a couple locking tabs. Just going to reach in with a small flathead screwdriver and pop them off. Once you have those off, we're going to push the locking collar off and just set it aside. And then we're going to press up on this locking collar while we pull down on the hose and pull it out of the valve. Once you have it disconnected, we can pull the water valve out of the way. Once you have the water valve out of the way, we're going to reach in with a 1/4-inch nut driver, take out the screw that holds the hold down bracket on. Once you have the screw out, we're going to reach in and pull the drain hose off the fitting right here. Just have to pull down. There's no clamp or anything on it. can reach in and pull the drain hose and the bracket out. Once you have it free, you can pull it off the machine. Here's the old drain tube next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. They don't give you the bracket on the new one, so we're going to have to swap that over before we put it in. The old drain hose doesn't have any marks on it to show where it goes, but the new one does. Has these little lines right here, and if you match it up, it goes right at the top of the bracket on this side and at the bottom on this side. If you don't have those marks, you just want to recreate this loop as tight as it was on the old one. We're just going to take the bracket off, swap it over. Once you have the bracket on, we can put it in the fridge. You just want to carefully feed it back behind the evaporator over there. Carefully you don't bend the copper hose. Once you have it in place, we can use the 1/4-inch nut driver to put in the screw. Once you have the screw tightened down, we can plug the drain hose into the fitting. There's no clamp or anything, so you just have to reach in and plug it in. Once you have it seated, we can put the water valve back in. To put the water valve back in, we're just going to lift it up and guide it in. And then we're going to grab the yellow water line. You want to make sure it goes all the way in and seats all the way so it seals properly. Then we have to put the locking clip on. So we're just going to put this little lip right here around this white collar so it can't come out. Once you have it in place, we have to snap the locking tabs in to hold it onto the line. Once you have it in place, we can move the valve around and line up the screw holes. Then we can use the 1/4-inch nut driver to put in the screws. Once you have that on, we can put the access panel back on. To put the access panel on, I want to make sure it goes inside the lip right here on the bottom. So you just have to line it up and set it into place. And we can use the 1/4-inch nut driver to put in the screws. Then we can grab the water line, and we're just going to put it down into the valve and line up the clamp with the last screw hole. Once you have it tightened down, we can use the 1/2-inch wrench to tighten down the nut. Just going to get it started by hand. And use the wrench to tighten it down so you get a good seal. Now we can go back around to the front of the refrigerator. Same as before, we're going to just tilt the fridge back so we can get underneath. To route the drain hose, you want to make sure it's not
pulled tight up into the evaporator coils up there, and then just run it along right below this hole right here. And then we're going to grab the tape. If the hose is a little different length, we're going to have to move the tape. If your tape isn't sticky anymore or missing, then you just have to grab some and tape it up. Once you have it in place, we can put the drain pan back on. When you put the drain pan in, you want to make sure that the cutout right here lines up with the hose. And then we have to lift the other side in first. So it goes underneath the frame. And you want to grab the wire harness and put it on the holder. Once you have it in place, we can use the corner-inch nut driver to put in the screws. Once you have the drain pan installed, we can put the refrigerator back on its feet. Once you have the refrigerator back on its feet, you can plug the machine back in, turn the water back on, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.